I'm Shane Hopfer, 38 years old, and let's see, I run the Calgary Subbuteo Club and the General Secretary of the Canadian Subbuteo Table Football Association. Actually a stay-at-home dad. I work evenings, weekends at the game store, and take care of my 6-year-old, which gives me a little time to help, run these things and play with my hobbies a little bit, as long as I get the dishes done in time. So flicking is done with either your index finger or your middle finger. You're not allowed to use your thumb like this to kind of give it a whack. That is not allowed.
Oh, you touched it.
And the idea is you're just going to give it a little tap. And you usually don't have to hit it too hard to get her going. But if you can keep that and keep a nice smooth motion on it. And I remembered a flicking soccer game I had seen on some vignette on TSN 25 years ago. No earthly idea what it was called, but with enough searching on the internet, I stumbled across a link to Calgary Subbuteo, emailed the fella that was running it at the time, and he invited me over, tried it out, immediately bought a set from him. I figured, well, if we're going to do this, we got to build something in Calgary. And so literally I was talking to everybody I knew that played, had some interest in it. We got some few guys together, taught them how to play. And in September 2012, we had our first event. And we've gone every month ever since. It's interesting because you have your expatriates that have moved over here, and they've played it for years when they grew up. They come over, and a couple of them bring their Subbuteo gear with them. A couple of them haven't seen it in 20 years. So initially, that's who it grabbed. And often it was just via word of mouth. One person would show another person, and they'd try it out. And it's amazing when you put somebody new onto the table, and they start flicking it themselves. They just kind of get that, I see how this works. And then they start seeing it going a little bit faster, and now they're like, I see how this works. We use that. Social media, Facebook is our big thing. We use Kijiji for advertisements.
I work with Shane, and Shane was like, you gotta try this, so excited. And I was like, well, if you say so. He brought, there's a little sample, smaller pitch, and he brought it to work, and let's just try. Let's flick some guys.
Ah! In your face!
Well, I see these three guys so good all the time, just completely destroying me every game. But it is exciting to, when I would play a little bit more, it's like, all right, I'm kind of getting better here.
The initial thought when you say soccer in this country, it immediately goes, oh. And it's amazing, people look at it and they're like, yeah, it's soccer. But once they actually put their hands on it, and they actually flick the guys around, and all of a sudden it clicks in their head. Response to where you are. So 4 guys up. I'll throw a guy over here just It's obviously very niche in Calgary and Canada. Again, it's kind of a stigma like anything like rod hockey or those type of games where, a little more of a kid's game, but not really, in the sense it is a kid's game. It's a good game for adults too because of the skill level. It kind of builds a camaraderie.
Okay, sure. Yeah. But I've gotten to the point where it's like,
So we talk to our friends about it. We, talk to coworkers about it and say, hey, you got to try this out. And it kind of creates a nice community. Everybody here has a good time when we play. We're not overly competitive, but we have some fun. And, it's just a nice, strong community that we've built here.
The garage is perfect, right? It's that, sort of a rustic feel. But I think that it's there's a good sense of belonging, right? I'm new, but I'm already getting into it. Part of the thing is getting the back and forths, a bit of trash talking. It's sort of creates a bit of a community there, and it's it's just like a nice, comfortable thing. Like I'm adjusting pretty well, I think, and getting used to it all.
Sorry.